mantra was, I am grateful, which we did in the classroom itself, in the office itself. I am grateful is the first mantra. I agree is my second mantra. Even if you disagree, you start with I agree. Now, again, a real life example in my case, as many of you know, I was working with Zenith Computers, and Zenith was not that high in the market. We at that time, Dell and HP were our strong competitors, very strong competitors, both foreign brands, US brands, and all that. And every IT head would normally prefer Dell or HP. And then here I am going with my Zenith product. Okay, and many times, oftentimes, I would hear this statement, and all my 100 salespeople across the country, they would hear this statement from my prospect, IT prospect, that Mr. Zenith, the only reason I heard that the reason you're selling your laptops or desktops cheap is because you're using inferior components. Okay, you're using inferior components. Now, we had taken utmost care and lot of training where we open the laptops, open the desktops, and show it to each and every salesperson. We had 100 salespeople, in our peak across the country, and we had trained each one of them very meticulously, showing them the components, showing them the parts, that we are using the best of the best components in our desktops and laptops. We used Intel original motherboards for our desktops. In those days, we had 2 RAM manufacturers across the world. We used to use the same. What HP used, we used the same RAM. Hard disk, we use the same, either Seagate or Western Digital. We use the same 2 hard disks. So these are some of the key components in a desktop or a laptop, and we use the same thing. Okay. So each and every salesperson was very confident, overconfident, in fact, that, hey, we are not using inferior components. Okay. So when the customer or the prospect says, hey, I heard you're using inferior components, what is the first reaction that comes out of the salesperson's mouth? Not aggressive. No, he doesn't make a face, because he's a salesperson. He's been trained. Every salesperson has been trained to smile. All trainers say, you should smile. Okay, fine, you should smile. But the first word that comes from the person's mouth, and many a times it comes from your mouth and my mouth, whenever we hear a statement that doesn't go with what we believe, is, no sir. No sir. Kya baat kar rahe ho, sir? Aisa thodi na hai, sir. First thing that comes is no sir. Okay. Now, if I tell you that this shirt is yellow, and you say no sir, or you say no Vinay, that means what? What am I saying? Am I saying the truth, or am I saying a lie? मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ कि झूठ बोल रहा हूँ? झूठ. यानी आपने indirectly मुझे झूठा बोला. You called me a liar. The minute I said this is yellow and you said no, that means you called me a liar. Okay. Now, if I ask the Zenith salesperson when he comes down from his meeting, hey, I heard you had a meeting with this client. Yeah, I had a meeting with this client, and I heard that you called him a liar on his face. So, I don't think so. I mean, I'm a well-trained, I'm a professional salesperson. I will never call a liar, a customer a liar on his face. I go and meet the client upstairs. Okay, I say, hey, you just had a visit from this Zenith guy. Yeah, he had come to meet me. Okay, I heard that this Zenith guy called you a liar on your face. No, I don't think so. No, he was very nice. He was very courteous. He never called me. I mean, he can. If he had called me a liar, I'd have thrown him out of my office. No, he never called me a liar. The word liar never came out of the mouth. The word liar never fell in the customer's ears. Okay, but at a subconscious level, that is the message that goes to people when you say no, sir. When we say no, okay, that means I am completely refuting whatever you said. Okay, so I used to train my salespeople in this manner. I say, whenever anybody says, okay, there were two very, very common statements. One, your components are inferior. Second, I heard your service sucks. You have very poor service. And in both these cases, I started telling my salespeople, start with I agree. You're using inferior components. I agree. Oh, like, wow. I mean, जो order आ गए वो भी नहीं आएंगे. If I say I agree, how will I get that order? Okay. So I said, hang on. Hear the full sentence. You start with I agree. Be in an agreeable mode. Okay, but that's not where you end. Okay, if you only get I agree from my talk today, then you got it wrong. What I'm saying is just hear the full statements. I say, the customer says, prospect says, I heard you're using inferior components in your laptops. I agree, that is what you have heard. He has heard. He told me that. So I say, I agree, sir, that is what you have heard. Okay. So this is where, if you remember, I talked about the F3 formula. This is where the F3 formula comes. Okay. I'll talk about the F3 formula in a short while. But let me just go back to this